Welcome to today's lesson. We will learn about population and economic consequences of money. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to solve problems on taxes and rates, solve problems involving buying and selling of shares and dividends, solve quantitative aptitude problems based on the taxes and rates as well as selling of shares and dividends. Let's begin! In our previous lessons, we learnt that money is used to purchase goods and services from private and public institutions like the government. The government uses rates and taxes to obtain money from its citizens in exchange for services. What are rates and taxes? Rates are payments for government-provided services like water, electricity, communication, etc. At times, the amount depends on the consumption. Taxes are money collected from the citizens by the government to provide social services like building schools, hospitals, roads, and bridges. The tax collected are also used to maintain these services. There are two types of taxes, namely direct and indirect taxes. Direct tax is a type collected from all working adults, generally called income tax. Indirect tax is the money collected on goods, licenses, etc. Let's see some examples. Jonkwa local government charges 2 naira 50 kobo monthly for each market stall rented by a seller. Find the total rate collected monthly for 60 stalls. Monthly rate collected for each market stall is 2 naira 50 kobo. Therefore, rate collected from 60 stores is 2.50 times 60, which is equals to 150 naira 0 kobo. If tax deducted from a taxable income of an employee is 25 kobo on every naira, find the tax paid if his taxable income is 2,800 naira. Tax paid on 1 naira is 25 kobo. Therefore, tax paid on 2,800 naira is 25 divided by 100 times 2,800, which is equals to 700. Next, we're going to learn about money in another form called shares and dividends. This is Miss Amina. She has a big manufacturing company. She needs money for the business. This means the company needs capital. In this case, Miss Amina's company will divide the amount of capital needed among people who hope to become joint owners of the company. This capital is divided into units and each unit is called a share. Anyone who buys an amount of shares becomes a shareholder of the company. After a certain period of time, Miss Amina's company will calculate the profit made in a year. This profit will be divided into units, that is, into the numbers of shares bought by the shareholders. The profit shared is called dividends. The amount of dividends received depends on the number of shares. Let's see some examples. Michael & Sons Limited sells some of its shares to the public who are ready to buy in multiples of 100 at 50 kobo per share. What is the cost of 600 shares? Cost of 1 share equals to 50 kobo. Therefore, the cost of 600 shares equals 50 divided by 100 times 600, which is equals to 300 naira 0 kobo. If a shareholder has 200 shares in a company, how much are his dividends if the dividends are given at 2 kobo per share, dividends on 1 share equals 2 kobo. The dividends on 200 shares will be 2 divided by 100 times 200, which is equals to 4 naira. We have now come to the end of the lesson. Today, we learned how to solve problems on taxes and rates. Solve problems involving buying and selling of shares and dividends. Solve quantitative aptitude problems based on taxes and rates, as well as selling of shares and dividends. Now, it's time for assessment.